Today I'm introducing you to the ATG Doctor. We are not in business together, we just share the same common goals and purposes. So if you want to do the ATG route, you've got me. If you want to get certified in coaching others through the route, you've got Keegan Smith, the ATG mentor and ATG for coaches. And if you're someone who needs a doctor, you now have a doctor who has mastered the ATG system in Quentin, aka the ATG Doctor. Quentin was one of my original online members quite a few years back. He told me he had the goal of becoming a doctor and making the Olympics, and he now graduates this month as a doctor, and he has turned himself into a freak athlete with a legitimate shot at making the Olympics. So without further ado, here is Quentin's first educational video for you, followed by a welcome from himself about his career goals now ahead.
I must admit, I'm still shocked at how many people are surprised when I post videos of my knees going way over my toes that they comment, "Geez, Q, that hurts my knees just watching." Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about patellofemoral stress and what happens to your knees when they go over your toes. So some of the things we worry about when we talk about the knee are compressive and shear forces. There's a difference. Here is a model of the knee. This is the thigh bone. This is the shin bone. Let's imagine that this little tape measure here is the patella. Boom. Now, shear forces are the forces that happen when the patella slides around or when these bones slide around. Compressive forces is when the patella is smashed or compressed into the joint, or these two joints are smashed and compressed together. When we squat, the quad tendon, all those big thigh muscles up here, wrap around the knee, and as we bend, this patella sinks deeper and deeper into the knee joint. So you get more compressive forces and less shear forces. Actually, the deeper you squat, the more compressive forces you get, anchoring the patella into the congruity of the joint. Studies investigating deep squatting compared to squatting at 90 or above have shown that compressive forces go up in the knee as you squat deeper, which means you get less shearing forces. There's an inverse relationship. In addition to less shear forces, we get increased glute activation, increased hamstring activation in deep squatting as compared to 90-degree squatting or above. Now you might be asking yourself, but what if there's too much compressional load through the patella or through these two bones? Well, to answer that question, researchers investigated what kind of compressional loads happen in something like distance running or training for a marathon. What they found in one study is that running for a marathon had similar compressive loads as a 500-pound deep squat. Pretty comparable. As well, in sprinters, researchers have investigated how much load goes through the knee per leg in something like a full max effort sprint. What they found is that up to 4 to 5 times body weight load is going through this very joint. So again, comparable to something, or even less comparable to something like a deep knee bended squat. Now you might be wondering, how much is too much? Well, the truth is, we're not 100% certain, but one thing we know is that studies done in older patients measuring things like knee pain and knee cartilage, that those who did more vigorous activity and put more stress to their knee joint over the course of their older years had better knees, healthier cartilage, and less pain. In addition, studies done on elite Olympic weightlifters show that those who are doing deep knee bends under high velocities and high loads tended to have fewer knee injuries, as well as healthier knees and knee cartilage on average than their peers. Now this could be a genetic component, but still, that's a lot of force going through the knee over time, and showing that that amount of increased compressional load has no bearing on injury or pain in a younger population. Now, with all that being said, there's likely not anything incredibly special about training knees over toes or performing deep squats. However, the criticism that it's under is likely not warranted. And if you want to be prepared for your sport, positions like deep squats or maybe even knees over toes are likely to happen often, and you'll be ill prepared for those events if you haven't trained it up before.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the ATG Doctor. Our goal with the ATG Doctor is to help folks currently doing the ATG or the Knees Over Toes program, and really anyone else from high-level athletes to older adults to people in pain. Maybe you're experiencing lulls in training and just looking for something new, or maybe even you just want to know more about the principles and methods of ATG and the Knees Over Toes. Whatever your reason is, we're going to bring you research evidence from the scientific literature as well as principles of physical therapy and exercise physiology to help you understand how the principles used at ATG are safe, effective, scalable, and may even help you achieve your goals or getting back to something you haven't been able to do for a while or finally breaking through athletic or training barriers. My name is Q. I earned a bachelor's degree in exercise science. I earned a master's degree in exercise physiology, and I am currently earning a clinical doctorate degree in physical therapy. I am also an author on several research papers published in journals such as Sports Medicine. I am also a former Division I athlete with Olympic goals that has been training with ATG for over 3 years now, and I still continue to see improvement. Now, the information you see here is not direct medical advice, and this should not be considered a treatment. However, we understand that there is a lot of circulating information out there between what you see on social media, what you hear from friends and family, what you've heard from other fitness or even medical professionals and what they're saying, and we are simply trying to give you some evidence-based resources to help guide your decisions as you work towards your next goals. In addition, there will be videos of some other tips to modify or scale your training based on what you have access to or what you may be experiencing when training.